today we're really going to be focused on answering questions, right? So we usually do every week. We try to have a guest on. We had our guest that rescheduled to next week, but it's all good because I had my team collect all of our questions, and I said I wanted to do something unique on for this episode where we're really going to focus on paid ads. I know a lot of folks are really understanding coming around to paid ads, so I got some questions that we collected from my community, from our clients over the last week. So I hope you're excited. Today we're really going to be like diving into specific questions. If you've ever been thinking about running paid advertisements, usually we focus on social media ads, or if you've ever been in a position where you've been running ads, you might currently be running ads right now, but it's not really giving you the ROI that you want. How do you get the ROI? What are questions you should be asking yourself? These are some of the questions that some of our clients have been asking, so we compiled it. And on today's episode is going to be themed, and it's going to be themed around paid ads. So hope you're excited. Now I also have, in case I feel it necessary, got the little whiteboard for you, and we're gonna make it happen. All right. So if this is your first time, definitely give this some like. Let me know that you're excited, and let's start talking about paid ads. Now, one of the best things about running advertisements is that the goal is to get an ROI. It sounds obvious, right? But a lot of times we hesitate to run ads because we don't really know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, right? And so that can be a challenge, right? Because we're thinking, all right, well, what if I spend this money and I don't get the leads? What if I spend this money and I don't get the traffic? I don't get it doesn't work. I just wasted money, right? Not only do you still get the brand awareness, but there's ways to make it work. You just got to know what questions to answer. You just got to know some strategies. So hopefully any questions that you've ever had about running ads that made you a little bit hesitant, I'm hoping that this helps based on the questions that my clients have been asking. And I want you to be excited about this because your goal is to get your message out there. Your goal is to get more people to know about your coaching. The more people who know about your offers, that knows about your coaching, the more people you can help, the more lives you can transform, the bigger you can grow this thing. So that's really what this ultimately comes down to. All right. So with that being said, that is what today's episode is going to be about. And all right, let's do it. So I'm just going to run through some questions, and some of them, I'm not going to ask all of the questions that we have on here because some of them are very similar. But I'll just kind of go through them, and then and by the way, as we're watching this and you're reviewing it, any questions that we have, make sure that you drop your questions below so I can answer them in real time. I'll be checking the chat periodically to make sure that I capture everybody's questions. Because again, the purpose of doing this is to really help you get coached and to answer questions. So I really don't, on these sessions, even if we don't have any guests, I don't want this to be too formulaic because I do a lot of my trainings like that where I always have the frameworks. I want this to be more like a fireside chat type of deal and be in more of a Q&A kind of situation. All right, so let's get to one of the first questions we got, which is which of our Facebook ads has brought in the most clients or sales? Good question. So I had one of my clients ask me that. So with that, right, that is, we've had many different campaigns throughout the years. I've had campaigns where we've given away ebooks, we've given away courses, we've given away access to a group. So if you have a Facebook group, that works pretty well. We've done campaigns to events and webinars. We've done events to, we've done ads to like straight appointment ads. Now, out of all of the ads, we've been able to get pretty much all of them working pretty well. But the one that really got, I would say, a large part of the revenue that came in through our ads, at least for the first initial few years, now we kind of been doing more direct. But the indirect, for us, the Facebook group has been crushing it for us, right? So essentially what this ad looks like is, we had an ad where it'll be, we're talking about getting part of a coaching community, right? So you'll get part of this coaching community, and you'll get this. So you'll get you get access to networking. We go live and we do trainings, and we do giveaways, and we do this and we do that. So, and I gave away certain resources that is inside the group. I've tested different things. I've tested going to the giving away the group, but then giving away a course as a bonus. or giving it, or just, running it separately to kind of see what works. But for us, it's been super huge, and it still works very well today. I see a lot of other people still running ads like that, where they'll do a they'll run it to a group, because people want to be part of communities, right? Think about coaching, the nature of just coaching of what we do anyway. People want to be part of communities. So if you can get people to feel like, yes, I finally got somebody that can help me. I finally got some accountability. I finally got some coaching. I finally can get somebody that can help me. Then they'll be more open to wanting to join your group and click on that ad and essentially go through the funnel, because they're getting the help. One of the biggest challenges people have with achieving goals today is no accountability. I know we work with thousands of people, no accountability. So they kind of slack on their goals. No support. They don't have anybody looking over their stuff, right? Wouldn't it be nice that, if whatever you do, right? If you are if you're trying to write a book, right? Let's say you're an author coach and you're trying to write a book, and your clients are trying to write a book. Wouldn't it be nice for you for you to be able to look over their book or give them some feedback? They will love that. I'm telling you, clients will love that. They may not say they always want the hand holding, but trust me, they do, right? They don't want to just do things and not really know if they're going to get if they're going in the right direction. So if you can include or incorporate something like that, even in a free group or whatever you're giving away, people are really going to like that, and they're going to be more open to want to do it. So for us, we found that the group has been working very well. But again, I mean, even especially since we started our advertising agency, the next ad that's been working well, that's currently working, is the one where is basically a direct call to action. These are coaches that are a little bit more serious. These are coaches that we don't necessarily have to just give away something really to kind of indoctrinate them into our process. It's more about them knowing that they have a need. Like, yo, I know I need to run ads. I know I need help with this. I don't have the time, the energy, the effort, the interest, the know-how to be able to do this, but I know that it's important. And so, because I know who our ideal client is, we could just go and just straight do an ad that's direct. The CPL, the cost per lead, is not going to be as low, because that's just the nature of what it is when you're doing a direct offer. But the quality of the lead is a lot higher when you're doing more direct. So so that is what that will look like from ads that have been working for us. Another question we got is, what could make our coaching, what could make our ads unique to other people in our space? Oh, that is great. So basically, this is a standout question. How to make ads unique to other people in your space. So here's a couple of things. First of all, to make your ads unique, you got to know what other people are doing in your space. So one of the things that helped me out a lot throughout the years when I started my coaching business is that I spent a lot of time and a lot of money enrolling in other courses and programs. I spent a lot of money. I talked about this the other day. I'm probably close to 60 different logins. You know what that means? That means that over 60 different programs over the years I've spent on just learning different areas, courses, sales, marketing, copywriting. I mean, everything you could think of, leadership, everything you could think of. I've taken courses on how to do the space, which is what gives me the ability to talk about it, because I've learned it, I've done it, we've implemented, we got results, we get our clients gives us a lot of opportunity. But what it also did, in addition to the learning, is it gave me the ability to see what the landscape looked like. So now I can see what everybody else is doing in my space, right? And then I can say, okay, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. Okay, where's the gaps? Where's the gaps? And then now I can see where I can look at the horizon and see where the gaps are at. And then I can say, boom, we can offer this. We can offer this. And because I know where the gaps are at and we can offer it, which one of the first people I heard talk about this was E.T. So I'll give E.T. his credit. Shout out to Dr. Eric Thomas. He was one of the first people I heard really talking about finding the gaps in the market. So I started looking for the gaps, found the gaps, and then that is really what you want to be highlighting and putting on a pedestal in your marketing and in your advertising. So in order to stand out, you got to know what other people are doing. You can't stand out if you don't know what your competitors are doing. So you got to figure that out. All right, and then once you figure it out, just talk about it more in the messaging, talk more about it in the videos, et cetera, et cetera. That's going to work really well when it comes to attracting people and making it feel like they're different. Because one of the gifts and curses, and I'll go to the next one after this. One of the gifts and curses of being in our industry is that there's plenty of opportunity. This is a gift, plenty of opportunity. Coaching is mainstream. People want it. People are willing to pay for it. You don't really got to convince people, especially people who know the importance of getting help from somebody else. The challenge with it is there is a lot of competition because it's so popular and people know the benefits and the advantages of it. You really got to find ways to be unique and stand out in the marketplace because it ain't like you're the only person that's offering it. So if they don't potentially get it from you, then they can get it from somewhere else. So you got to really know where you stand out so they can't just go and get what you have anywhere else. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. We got another question from our community that said, how much should we spend on ads without hurting our business? So that's a great question. So spending money on ads is your budget. It really just depends on how much you're willing to spend to acquire a client. That's what it comes down to because this is very niche specific. So you might have a offer that is, let's say, $1,000, right? So if you got $1,000 offer, then you're willing to spend up to a certain amount versus then if you got a $10,000 offer, right? So if I have a $10,000 offer, how much do you think I'm probably willing to spend? Well, I mean, to be honest, I probably would be willing to spend up to 10,000, even if I broke even. That's only breaking even up front. We're not even talking about lifetime value, which is how long somebody stays with you. So let's say you have an offer and it's $10,000, for 6 months of my service, right? Now, what if this person, I can get people who sign up, they stay with me for a year. So, okay, so I broke even up front. So I spent, meaning, let's say I spend 10 grand in a month on ads. And then let's say I'm able to get a client and I'm able to get at least one client for 10 grand. So essentially I broke even. The amount of money that I spent on ads to acquire a client is equal to the amount that I made when I acquired the client. So I spent 10 grand and I made 10 grand essentially, right? So you'd be like, damn, I spent all this money to break even. Well, it depends, right? Because yeah, maybe you broke even up front, but guess what? When they renew, now you doubled. And then now you're generating more revenue on top of that. Does that make sense? So versus if I have $1,000 offer, then that's a completely different scenario because I might not be willing to spend up to 1,000, or I'm willing to spend 1,000, but I'm not going to spend 10,000 to make 1,000. Does that make sense? But usually in general, you probably want to spend, up to about a third of what you want to spend to get a client. Meaning, if you got let's say you have $1,000 offer, right? And usually high ticket starts at about 2 grand. Actually, let's make it easy. So let's just say 3,000, right? So let's say you have an offer that's $3,000. I would be willing to spend at least $1,000 to get a client. Does that make sense? Like, be willing to spend 1,000 to get a client. Meaning, let's say you got a budget. If you say, okay, how much should I run on for Facebook ads? I got a $3,000 offer, coach, and I could spend about $1,000 a month on paid ads. Cool. Here's what I'm gonna say: spend that 1,000. Let's get these leads, and then focus on making sure that you're able to help these folks and try to enroll. And if you get one client, you already ROI positive. If you just got one, because you got to pay yourself. You might have to pay. You got softwares, you got subscriptions, you might have automation, you might have some virtual assistants working with you. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that in this case, you are spending a third of what it costs, of what you're generating from enrolling a new client, and then from there you're able to get your ROI. All right, so great question. Definitely great question. That was a budget question. Okay. And this one is kind of similar, but it says, how do we know? Actually, that might be the same one. Hold on, that was the same question. So this one says, what should our Facebook ads say to make people want to learn more about our coaching? Good question. So Facebook ads really should say this is more about the messaging, right? So we have a framework on how we do that. So the goal is this, and I'll kind of give like a high level overview of it. So in our space, you're running ads. Think about what we're doing. Inside of your ads campaign manager, it says they have something that's called reach. Your reach is how many new people are seeing your advertisements, right? How many new people are seeing your advertising? Which, by the way, when I say I got millions of people that we've reached, that's what I'm referring to, because we've reached millions of people who know my name, who've seen our trainings from the ads that we've ran and content that we've ran. And a lot of that has been through paid advertising, a lot of organic stuff too, which, by the way, actually, if I add the organic, it's been way more than that, because I've had a few videos that went viral and have gotten like, 500,000 or 1 million plus views, right? So actually, now that I think about it, we got way over 2 million. We've reached way over 2 million people over the last few years, but let's just say ads particularly, right? So when you're reaching people, these are people that don't necessarily know you, right? So if they don't necessarily know you, there's certain elements that certain triggers you want to unlock in their mind for them to feel like, okay, this is something I want to learn more about, because the goal of the ad is not to make the sale, unless that is the goal of the ad, like you're selling tickets. But in terms of running this to potentially introduce new people into our program, the goal is not to generate a sale. The goal is to get them enrolled in your community. Is to get them in like part of your ecosystem. That's really what you want. And then being part of the ecosystem, they'll take another step by joining a webinar, joining a training, joining a live, inviting them to a one-on-one consultation or strategy call. So, you kind of indoctrinate them that way. But in terms of what you actually need to do, you want to make sure that your messaging has a few different things. So one, I like to start off with a powerful hook. So think about this as like the description of the ad. So I like to think about this as a couple things, right? So we got one, let's say we got a powerful hook, right? So a hook, right? So first is a hook. So let's say you have, I like to start off with questions. So let's say if you are, let's say if I'm working with speakers, right? And I'm helping speakers land more speaking engagements. I might say something like, are you tired of struggling to get on stages, right? Like something like that. Or you can start with maybe a statistic. Did you know 1 out of every 10 speakers actually lands a speaking engagement? Or did you know 9 out of 10 speakers end up doing speeches for free or something? I don't know if that's a true statistic, but you get what I'm saying, right? So you want to start off with the hook. Oh, then then another thing you want to do as part of it is context. Context. So context is basically like, if you want to give like a powerful hook or like something opinionated, you better back it up with something. So if I say, 9 out of every 10 speakers don't get paid for speaking engagements, then the context that I'm gonna give with that will be the reason that they don't understand. The reason is because they don't understand what it actually takes to identify a niche. If they identify the niche, they can more clearly solve the problem of their ideal client, and they can actually charge more. For example, right? That is what we call context. Now, so you got your hook, you got your context, and then I also like to give, a little bit, maybe like a tip or two, maybe like a quick tip. So I'll say something like, one of the biggest ways to identify your niche is think about the area of your experience um, that you have the most expertise in, for example, right? Okay, cool. That'll be what we consider a quick tip. Then I'll go into the bio, and this is like a super quick bio. So, then hello, my name is Terrell Jones, blah 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 blah. I got this many years of experience. If you got experience, you go into, if you have education, I got this degree or I have that achievement. So any kind of like awards or achievement works really well. A lot of this is social proof, credibility, because people need to know why they're listening to you, right? So if you just jump into an ad, and I've done reviews on ads on my YouTube channel, like even the big men and women, big guys, the most successful people in our industry, they still make a mistake with this, not adding some of these elements. So you want to give the bio, which is basically going to give you that, right? Give people like kind of the background, because again, you're reaching a lot of people, but they don't necessarily know you. Then we got, then we're going to look at, we're going to look at the bullets, right? Essentially, the bullets is okay. Boom. So let's say if I got a group for speakers, then I'll say, and this is the reason why I created the XYZ speaker group, where I'm going to teach you every week on how to land paid speaking engagements. I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to teach you how to put together a speech. You're going to be surrounded by other speakers. We're going to do networking inside of the group. I'm going to give away this. We're going to get that. Now, I'm going to give you your, speaker kit or whatever, right? I'm going to show you how to do a proposal. I'm going to give you a contract. And they're going to be like, oh, hold on. They're going to say, hold on. Let me see what this group is about. Let me see what that's about, right? And they're gonna click, and then if they're interested, they'll become a lead. All right. So that's how we would do. That's how we do the messaging for our ads. All right. And you could test different things, and there's different methods, but that's pretty much like our go-to on what we like to do for ads. All right. I'll go through a couple more quick questions. Another question we got is, should we use videos, images, or just text? So you have to run. So with ads, you got to run an image or a video. It has to be either or. So it's either going to be text in a video, or it's going to be text in a still image. I really don't have any preference. Well, actually, I do. So I actually lean more towards video because it's more engaging and that kind of seems to work. But I've had some still images and some, I've had some graphics that just worked, right? So it really kind of depends on the niche. It kind of depends on how engaging it is, but both work. All right. The biggest thing with it is really just testing. You just got to continue to test over and over and over. How often should you test? Test about once a week. That'll definitely work pretty well. Another question is, how effective is success stories or testimonials in ads to attract people? Phenomenal. I mean, like, use it, because that is another way you could do videos, right? Or maybe you could do screenshots, so you could kind of switch it up, or you could try to do like the carousels, and then that might work. So the goal is you want to see people in that. I would say use it, test it, try it. People will be more willing to really hear out what you got, especially if they're seeing themselves and they're visualizing and they're saying, oh wow, I can see how this works. I can see how you get people results. I can see how you help. So like, for example, one of the direct ads that we have running right now is literally like a book a call with me. But the reason why that works is because not only do I know I'm speaking directly to the people that have that pain, but also in the ad, I'm going through testimonials and I'm showing images or graphics of our actual clients. Boom, such and such made, $30,000 in a month. Such and such made 5, 10. Such and such got X amount of clients. Such and such got a 2,000% ROI in the first week. Like, I'm giving some of our best testimonials that we got with our agency, because I want people to really see like, oh wow, this works, and it's at least worth the conversation. So that's the approach that you really want to take with this. All right. So I would absolutely recommend it, and you got to still monitor it. You got to look at it, because ads do fatigue over time, but testimonials and success stories work phenomenally. All right. Another question is there a simple way for potential clients to sign up after an ad? Great question. Great question. I mean, there's a few different ways. Two of the best ways that I like to do it is essentially one, we take them through our funnel. So our funnel, literally, they click an ad and then they'll leave Facebook and then they'll go to a landing page. The landing page, whatever we giving away, they fill out the information, they fill out a form. Usually we like to put the name, email, and phone number. So they go from a landing page where they fill it out. If you want, you could do an upsell or a downsell page next. That's up to you. So you could give away something, but then you can also offer something to sell on the next page. So that could work. So that could be part of your funnel. And then you'll also have the thank you page. And that page is where they'll get access to whatever you want to give them access to, or whatever they signed up to get access for. But you could throw like your calendar link on there, and you can, like, if you have a group, you give them access to the group or give them access to anything else they need. So that's really way one. That's one of the pretty much the main way that we use it. But then also you have Facebook forums. And this is where they stay inside of Facebook. They don't even leave Facebook. So if they're signing up for something, literally they just kind of fill it out. They have options inside of the forms where their information will automatically pop up. So they don't have to put their name, email, and phone number in. It'll automatically pop up because obviously Facebook already has the information. So they'll do that, and then literally you'll have their information. Now, on the back end of Facebook, you'll just have to go and you'll have to download the CSV file. That CSV file is what's going to have all of the list of all of the leads that came in through the ads, and then that's how you're going to access the people that came in through your paid ads. All right, so that's that. And by the way, if you loving this, give this some love. Let me know that this is helpful. If you just tuning in, by the way, go ahead and make sure you can go back. You can watch this. By the way, if you're watching a replay of this too, go ahead and put hashtag replay. Let me know that you hear, right? Again, this theme, today's theme is about paid ads. All right, and then next week we should have our guest next week. So we'll go back to regular scheduled programming with the guests. But every so often, I'm anticipating that this will happen because humans are going to be humans. So nothing percent is 100%. It's always 100%. So during those times, I'm usually going to do some type of Q&A, and we're going to collect questions. All right, because these sessions are about you. It's not about me. All right, so another question we got is, how do we I got a retargeting question. Like, how do we show ads to people who clicked on our ads but didn't show up? That's a good question. So let's say somebody clicked on your ad but they didn't sign up. How do you retarget them, right? So retargeting pretty much work a couple different ways, but the easiest way, the simplest way retargeting works is pretty much like you can. So everybody who when you run an ad, right? One of the options that it's going to give you is, who do you want to show this ad to? So you can have an option where you can show it to an existing audience. So in Facebook, they recognize it as an existing audience because these are people who clicked. So technically, this is an existing audience. This is people who already clicked. And you got Facebook and you got Instagram. The dopest part about it is you can target people who already viewed videos, meaning you didn't even have to click on my ad. If I have a video, let's say I got a 60-second video, and you just watched, and you watch for a certain amount of seconds, I think it's like 15 seconds, it's captured. So now that it's captured, you're part of the viewed videos list. So now if I could just target everybody who viewed videos. Pretty dope, right? I could target people who clicked. I could target people who just, I could target people who engaged on my Instagram, because you got Facebook and Instagram, right? I could target people who engaged on my Instagram. So that's how dope it is. But you could specifically target the people who landed on certain pages, and they have a way where you'll basically have a link, and then it'll say, I don't know if it pops up automatically, but you'll have to put the URL, and then you'll say, to say, okay, people who visited this URL. And obviously they can track it. That's what pixels are for. You can track everybody who engages with your ad. So then now, if I say, okay, I want to run this particular ad. So I run an ad and say, I'll say, hey, I just saw that you were thinking about joining our group, and I noticed that you didn't sign up to be a member of the group. So I just wanted to kind of get this ad back in front of you, just to remind you of what the benefits of the group. Because if you really want to be a coach and you want to take your business to the next level, then it's going to be important for you to be part of this community, because this is where I give a lot of my free training at. All right. So hey, I just wanted to give you another opportunity to join the group. Click the button below, for example, right? So now what's going to happen is I can take that video, and then I can take and then in the targeting options, I can select everybody who visited this URL. Remember, these are people who clicked, they went over to the landing page, but they never converted into a lead. So then now I'll take the URL, I'll put it into and you'll see this, like if you're running your own ads, like if we're running it or an agency or somebody else is running it, you're not going to see it, but you should still understand the philosophy and the concept behind it. So you're going to take the URL. That URL goes into anybody who visited, which essentially is like a custom list. So they look at that. I believe they look at that as they look at that as a custom audience, because you got lookalike audiences and you got custom audiences. So it's under the custom audience option in Facebook, in the Facebook Ads Manager, and then you can actually target everybody who clicked on it. That's why if you ever clicked on an ad and you're like, man, I keep seeing this person's ads. Like, how does this person? I just clicked on the ad 20 seconds ago. How am I seeing more of their stuff now? That's how they're doing it, because they're able, if they already have that running, that means check this out. That means once that campaign runs, even after it's already running, and then you come back and let's say you come and you click it, you're automatically going to see their ad. Does that make sense? If you could already have it running, meaning if I'm running an ad and let's just say I set this up yesterday, right? So let's say yesterday I said, you know what, I want to retarget everybody who clicked on this ad, but they didn't sign up. Okay, so I can already have that running. Now let's say today you scrolling and you see my ad, and now you're like, oh wow, this is dope, and then you click on it, but you got busy, something happened or whatever, and you never got a chance to convert into being a lead. Although I set it up yesterday, because it's set up that everybody who visits that URL we're going to target. Now, although I set it up yesterday, you're going to start seeing more of my ads now, because of and that's what we call a retargeting campaign. I could do a whole nother training on that, but that's super important. All right, was this helpful? Hopefully this is helpful, because these are the things that I've been able to learn throughout the years. A lot of the things that I even teach in regards to these ads are strategies that I was doing for myself for years. For years, I was doing myself, running them. I wasn't doing for clients. I was giving tips and things of that nature, but just over the years, more people were asking me more and more and more, hey, listen, can you help me? Can you just do it for us, right? Because some of this could sound complicated. Some of us is like, okay, I kind of get it, but I'm not really going to go in there and do it myself. I don't have the time to do it myself. I'd rather just pay somebody to do it, right? But I still like to teach some of the nitty gritty stuff, because we got people who may actually want to go in and try to learn it as a skill. But this is a skill, and I had to develop it for our own business over the years, until I just got to the point where people just kept asking me. I'm like, all right, hell with it. Like, let me just do it, since I know this is one of the most challenging things for people to do in our industry, which is find their ideal clientele consistently. Everybody could go to a networking event every so often. Everybody could, when you have the time or the energy, you might send some people some DMs, right? You might make somebody happy. You might get a couple of referrals. People might find out about you through word of mouth, right? But some of these other methods are not really, it relies on your own efforts, which is one of the biggest challenges, because you get busy, we get sick, we got the kids, we got to do this with the house, we got 2-3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? We got a team. We doing so many different things that that a lot of the time the marketing and connecting with our people falls through the cracks, because we got to create the content. We doing so many other things that the thing that it takes for us to be able to grow the business, we drop the ball on, which is the marketing part of it, which is the advertising part of it. And especially if you're doing it manually, and you start getting clients. Oh my God, you start getting clients. Guess what you're doing now? You switch all of your attention Now I'm just helping clients. And then guess what's going to happen over time, right? You're going to have churn, right? Which means your retention is going to go down over time, right? It happens to every service-based business. Your retention is going to go down. And then what's going to happen is your revenue is going to go down. And I know because I'm speaking from experience, right? This is years of things that I've learned. Your revenue will go down, and then you're like, oh, I gotta get my marketing back up so I get more clients. And then now you market, and then now, the results for the clients. So it's kind of like a ping pong. So you always have to be having a system for both to continually help your clients get results, and then also have a marketing and an advertising system that's continually running to bring in ideal clients. Because if you're doing it manually and you help, but then you forget to do the manual part of it because you're manually helping your clients over here, now your marketing is suffering. But what if you started helping clients over here, but your marketing is still in tip-top shape, your advertising is in top shape because you got a system that's automated, that's running while you sleep, while you working, while you eating, while you working out, while you with the kids, while you coaching your clients, while you doing the content. The ads is running 24/7, bringing you ideal clients. All you need to do is enroll and help them out. And that is where we want to get to. And that's how, we've been able to help a lot of our folks have 4 and 5 figure months, is because of being able to manage that well and making sure that the ads are working phenomenal. With that being said, I hope this is helpful. If you love this, give this some like, give this some love. Also, feel free to share this episode. This was a special episode where we talked about paid ads. So hopefully this answers some of your biggest questions in regards to that. Even if you're not at that point yet, keep learning. You'll get it. And you'll make it happen. All right. With that being said, I'll see you on the next episode of the Coach Blueprint Show. I appreciate you for being here. Shout out to you for being here to the end. Continue to be great. And I'll see you next time. And remember this, slow motion is better than no motion. Let's work.